This is Jack Whitby from JCAD Pictures, and this is the questionnaire with results that I've gathered. I wrote a questionnaire stating some questions about typical thriller films and what other people thought about them, as well as their favourite thriller films and how long they should last, to help us pass our brainstorm activity and get more ideas for our final thriller film. And here are the results that I got. Okay, so this is the questionnaire I've given you. Basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to read out the questions that are on here, and you're going to read out the answers that you've put down on the questionnaire, and can you occasionally look at the camera for me, please?
Okay.
So, what is your age?
41 or older.
And what is your favourite thriller film?
Pulp Fiction.
What is your favourite location / setting in a thriller film, and why?
My favourite location in a thriller film would be the streets in either New York or Los Angeles, and this is because it is the perfect location for gangs to roam and hide out in, and or a setting for crime to happen, much like in Pulp Fiction.
Good choice. So who is your favourite character in a thriller film and why? And are they a hero, villain, young or old? Along those lines?
Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction. He is a hero in the film to the viewer, as he is the guy the viewer follows throughout the film. However, he is a villain to civilians in the film. He is young in the film, although he is experienced and is a white American. He can be intelligent, although he can be seen to make idiotic mistakes in the film.
So I'm going to guess when you said civilians, he's a villain to civilians in the film, so to the viewer he's actually a hero, but when it actually comes to, if it was real life, he'd actually be classed as a villain.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so what music do you think should be in a thriller film? Can you give any examples of music in thriller films?
I think music in a thriller film should build to a scene and make the scene have emotion, such as intense or sad. This is like in Silence of the Lambs, when Clarice first meets Dr. Hannibal Lecter for the first time in the film.
That's a good one, I like that film. So the next question, what is your favourite thriller film storyline, and what do you like about that in particular?
My favourite storyline in a thriller film would be from Psycho, as the woman is trying to escape from her previous life. She runs into the wrong hotel with a killer, which keeps intensity levels high and therefore keep viewers hooked throughout the film.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that in my thriller film, keep intensity levels high. So, what is your favourite camera shot used in a thriller film and why?
I like the camera shot from Goodfellas, when the guy walks into the club and there is one long camera shot which follows him through the entrance and him meeting all his friends. I like this because there is no obvious editing and it feels as if us, the viewer, are following him.
That's a unique camera shot. I think the camera shot goes on for about a minute and a half, just one long camera shot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
What do you like about what do you like most about thriller films? Sorry.
The reason I like thriller films so much is because there is always a lot of action to keep us viewers entertained and keeps us on the edges of our seats the whole way throughout the film.
Oh, okay. So, final question, how long do you think a thriller film should be?
No longer than 2 hours really, maximum.
Okay, that's what we came up with anyway. Thank you for completing the questionnaire.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is the questionnaire you filled in for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read out the questions and you're going to read out the answers that you've put, and can you occasionally look at the camera for me, please? Okay, so what is your age?
16.
And which is your favourite thriller film? Okay, Misery that was, sorry. And what is your favourite location / setting in a thriller film and why?
Well, I like the whole, horror film genre. I prefer it more than thriller. But, films, why I like it is that when the protagonist, goes away from the civilization that he's meant to be in, and then he gets sent to a remote location, and, some of those remote locations are like rundown towns, factories and stuff like that, and it really keeps, makes me a bit more scared and more interested in the location where it's set.
Okay, I like the way you're linking thriller and horror together there. Yeah. Who's your favourite character in a thriller film? Why? Are they hero, villain, young, old, etc.?
Well, I like Hannibal Lecter from the Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
He's a villain, obviously. He's quite old. He's a cannibal, so he eats people. I mean, what's not cool about that? I like his character because, he's a scary villain. The stuff that he does makes, the audience scared and stuff like that. But in some occasions, he does help the hero, and that's what he does. And it's actually like he's a contrasting character, which is quite cool. And so
you're really entertaining to watch down there.
It's
very true.
Yeah.
Okay, so what sort of music do you think should be in a thriller film, and can you give any examples of any?
Alright, well, the music that I think should be in a thriller film, I feel like, you know, the scene needs to be affected and it needs to make you affected by what's going on, like on screen. An example of this would be a death scene, like the death of
Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that scene.
Yeah.
And right at the end. Okay, so we're going to switch over.
Alright.
So what is your favourite thriller film storyline, and what do you like about that storyline in particular?
I'd have to say, like, I like the storyline from Sherlock Holmes, you know, as it plays with the roles of the heroes and the villains. The hero obviously being Sherlock Holmes, you know, he's good, and but he has to hide from many guards, obviously, and police in the film, and they think he's a bad villain even though he is good. This kept me, you know, on edge from the whole time when I was watching the film, so yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good strong contrast there. Okay, so what was your favourite thriller film camera shot used, and why?
I like the camera shot when it's a tracking shot and it's always running. I think that's a really effective camera shot. I love the shot in Silence of the Lambs because I think she's, like, you know, obviously in danger when she's running, and when she's actually just training, and which tricks the viewers, you know, at the start of the film, which is really good.
That's interesting. Someone else said that in the questionnaire as well. Popular camera shot. Okay, so what do you like most about thriller films?
My favourite thriller film, or the ones which are more horror type thriller films.
Yeah, you said that.
Because, you know, they're more interesting. Like Misery or Silence of the Lambs, they're really good. You know, because I personally feel like I'm being scared when I'm watching them. And, you know, they're having, like, blood rushing from my body is, like, what I really like the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it's a good effect of a thriller film.
I like the way you're linking them together, as I said. And finally, how long do you think a thriller film should last?
2 hours and 30 minutes max.
Oh, okay, right. That's a bit long, but maximum, I suppose. Okay, thank you very much for answering my questionnaire for me.
No problem, man.
Okay, so this is the questionnaire you filled in for me. I'm just going to read out the questions that I've asked, and you're just going to read out the answers that you've put down. And can you occasionally look at the camera for me, please? Okay, so what is your age?
15 to 19.
And what is your favourite thriller film?
James Bond Casino Royale.
What is your favourite location / setting in a thriller film, and why?
I like a simple setting which is just an ordinary urban area and has a police station in which a thriller film can be set. I don't believe there is a need to go to the air, as the best thriller films are the ones which are most about the in-depth storyline rather than the action.
Okay, that's an interesting interpretation of the setting. Okay, so who is your favourite character from a thriller film, and are they hero, villain, young, old, etc.?
I like James Bond. He is a young hero and is always trying to do what is right. I like the character as he is strong and has courage. He never backs down from a fight and has great in-combat fight moves, and it is brilliant and entertaining to watch as a viewer myself.
I suppose that's why you picked James Bond for your favourite thriller film. Okay, so what do you think music should be like in a thriller film, and can you give any examples from other thriller films that you've watched?
I think the music only needs to be in the background of a thriller film, as it is not overwhelming. It needs to suit the scene. This is in most movies, so I could not just pick one.
Oh, okay, I suppose that they do use background music in all movies, really. Okay, so what is your favourite thriller film storyline, and what do you like about that storyline in particular?
I love storylines such as Casino Royale or Batman Begins, as I believe a good
guy,
bad guy storylines, as I liked it as a child.
Oh, okay.
And it always brings back memories, but also as they also keep the tension levels at a high.
Okay. So, what is your favourite camera shot used in a thriller film, and why?
I like the tracking shot of the woman's legs running through the forest in Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
As this creates tension, as if she was running away from something, as her legs were moving very fast.
Okay, I like that camera shot too. So, what do you like most about thriller films in particular?
I love in-depth storylines, which make the scene and the movie have a lot more twists in it. I do like action, but not as much as the scenes in which they all come together.
Oh, the plot all comes together. Oh, I see what you mean. So you're a fan of in-depth storylines. So how long do you think a thriller film should last?
From 1.5 hours to 2 hours.
Okay, that's a sensible time. Okay, well, thank you very much for completing my questionnaire for me. Okay, so this is the questionnaire you filled in for me. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to read out the questions, and you're just going to read out the answers that you've put down on the sheet. And can you occasionally look at the camera for me, please?
Okay.
Okay, so what is your age?
15 to 19.
And what is your favourite thriller film?
Gone Girl.
What is your favourite location/setting in a thriller film, and why?
In a thriller film, I like the feel of helplessness and loneliness, which is why I like the setting of an abandoned house or factory. It makes the film more intense and scary, which is what I like in a thriller film.
Bit like Misery right there. Who is your favourite character in a thriller film, and why? And are they a hero, villain, young, old, etc.?
I like Clarice from Silence of the Lambs. She's a hero, she is young. She wants to join the FBI and her hunt down Buffalo Bill. She is my favourite character as she is the underdog and always does what's right for the police to catch the villains.
Great film right there, Silence of the Lambs. So what do you think music should be in a thriller film, and can you give any examples from other thriller films?
I like the music best when it is building towards something like a big battle or the revealing of character. An example of this would be in Avengers, when they are getting ready to fight Loki.
Avengers, yeah. Suppose it's a bit more of an action than a thriller, but I see what you mean by the music when it builds up to a battle. So what is your favourite thriller film storyline, and what do you like about it?
I love the storyline in The Silence of the Lambs because it is simple yet very effective. I also like it because it's realistic. It makes me, as a viewer, think that a psychopathic murder like Buffalo Bill could exist in real life.
Second time you mentioned Silence of the Lambs, I do like that film. So what is your favourite camera shot used in a thriller film, and why?
My favourite camera shot of all time is the over-the-shoulder shot, as this is because it makes me feel as if I'm following the character and that I am as much in danger as they are, which keeps me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, we're planning to use a few over-the-shoulder shots in our thriller film to keep intensity levels high. So what do you like most about thriller films?
My favourite part about thriller films is all the gun action and all the intense chases. This is probably because my favourite genre of film is action. I like to be entertained by a lot of action on screen at once.
I suppose that's why you mentioned the Avengers earlier in the questionnaire. And final question, how long do you think a thriller film should last?
Probably around 2 hours.
Okay, that's what we're aiming for. Thank you very much for answering my questionnaire. Okay, so this is the questionnaire you filled in for me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read out the questions, and you're just going to read out the answers that you've wrote down. And can you occasionally look at the camera for me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Alright then, so what is your age?
I am 16 years old.
And what is your favourite thriller film?
My favourite thriller film is Shutter Island, actually. So.
Oh, okay. So what is your favourite location/setting in a thriller film, and more?
Well, I'd say Shutter Island again. The asylum in Shutter Island is it's an amazing place to set the scene. I just love the camera shots they use as well with it. They use a lot of tilt up to show to show the asylum, like when you're in the character's eyes and you tilt up and see it, it just shows how powerful and what it represents, the asylum in the movie. So I really enjoy it. It's a great place to set it.
Wow, that's a great in-depth analysis there. We've got a Shutter Island fan here, obviously. So, who's your favourite character from a thriller film, and why? And are they a hero, villain, young, old,
I would say it's not Shutter Island this time.
Okay.
It's Sherlock Holmes. I just like the way he's presented. He's a very intelligent person. He's just a lot more intelligent than everyone else. I like the scenes they use with the slow motion stuff in the movie. I think I also prefer the TV series Sherlock Holmes to the one. I like it in more modern day. It's a really good way to represent him.
Okay, that's I haven't actually seen the series myself, but I'll take your word for it.
Very good.
So, what do you think music should be in a thriller film, and can you give any examples?
I prefer it when it's parallel with the scene and not. Is it
Contrapunch? No, yeah.
Contrapuntual.
When the music is
like
really filled
with the scene. Is it
Is that Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah,
That's
with the
something,
fight
yeah.
scene. I thought that was quite funny as a comedic value, but I do prefer when it's parallel. It doesn't really put you off if you want to be in a serious thriller film. It's better to do it parallel instead of contrapuntal.
I definitely agree with you there. So let's switch over and see
Okay.
what else we've got. What is your favourite storyline in a thriller film, and what do you like about that in general?
Well, going back to Shutter Island, it's my favourite thriller film. It's just such a creative storyline, and I'm not going to ruin it for any viewers, but it's got a massive twist at the end, which really f's with your head, and it's just a great. I just love psychological thrillers. It's really great to watch and really makes you think a lot more.
Okay.
It's a great storyline.
So, what is your favourite camera shot used in a thriller film, and why?
I prefer like close-up shots. So like in Misery, there were many close-up shots of Annie Wilkes' face because you can see sweat, anger, and if they're scared, you can see frightening. Shows a lot of emotion.
Yeah, she is quite scary in that film.
Yeah.
What do you like most about thriller films?
My favourite like genre of thriller is psychological. So like Shutter Island, it just makes you think a lot. It's a really good genre. So that's what I like. Just being able to think about films, think them through.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Makes them a bit more tense and scary.
Yeah, a bit more interesting. Yeah.
And the final question is, how long do you think a thriller film should be?
I think it really depends on the film. Like if it's a good film, you could go up to like 3 hours. But like if I'd say like 2 hours average would be the time for me.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for answering my questionnaire for me.
Okay.
In conclusion, this data has proved to be successful as we have got more of an understanding on what type of camera shots, music, storylines and characters people and our target audience like to see in thriller films, which is definitely going to help us when it comes to making our thriller film. Now I just need to look more into the findings of the questionnaire and bring all this data together and make it complete.